All of the frequencies are there. There is a low end, there is like a top mid section, like everything is there and balanced.
You played the game hard and I looked away because baby you see that it was too late for me.
Hey guys, and welcome to the office, welcome to the studio. It's already late, it's already dark. It's getting dark quite early now that it's already fall. One day after my birthday, I'm back in the office, back to taking care of business stuff for the entire day, trying to figure out where to go at ADE, plan a couple of meetings, and the rest will just happen spontaneously. If you want to be part of the ADE madness, don't forget to tune in 2 days, heading there, staying there for 4 days and just experiencing ADE, which is great. So since I didn't work on music today and I didn't really have a whole lot of time and there is nothing I can really share with you, let's just do another edition of track submits. So welcome to Track Submits, the little segment within my daily DJ and producer vlog where you guys send me songs, I listen to them, I try to give you feedback, as well as the entire community here on YouTube. The very first song is by Jung called Northern Lights. Classic progressive house tune style I really like. I'm just not sure about the chords. I think you should definitely try and change them and make them sound like right. Besides that, the main synthesizer sound is a sound that I really like. As I said, it's like a classic progressive sound. The build up is really good, like just opening the cutoff and like making it bigger and bigger and bigger. The drop doesn't deliver 100%, but I think it's heading into the right direction. So just, yeah, maybe try out a different kick, like the bass a little more emphasized, maybe a little bit of distortion. But overall, like pretty good, but like the melodic stuff has to be right. Next up by Wilhelm Mehr, I don't know what. This one is cool, extremely cool. Is actually like the little segment right before it drops. It's like really playful and it's not like your standard kind of drop transition. So I really like the creativity and the idea. First of all, I would try to add a limiter at the very end of the master chain just to get it up to loudness. It's a little quiet. It doesn't need to be mastered, but just like really just get it up to loudness. And maybe even consider mixing while that limiter is on, at least a little bit. Because with the limiter on, a song reacts differently. If you just mix a song and never test it in between with heavily limiting it, you will never know what it will sound like when it's mastered. Especially the kick will change because it will get squeezed a lot and pushed into the song because it's usually like the most energetic and loudest part. Also, the mixing isn't quite there yet. I would replace a couple of samples, but the call response idea and the general like sound design is good. It's like a nice style that I like. This song by Keep Music, Don't Lose It, is a full vocal song. I think the mixing should be redone, especially the low end. The kick doesn't really exist and the bass is not really defined. It's just like muddy going on in there. And also the vocals could be better, but if those are the vocals you have to work with, I would try to carve out a little more space in the mix for the vocals. There's too much going on at the same time. That kind of pluggy lead melody should be either in the background or in the foreground, and then not the vocal playing at the same time. Having the vocal and the main melody that covers the same frequencies playing at the same time is really something tricky, and I would just avoid things like this whenever it comes to mixing.
2, 1, let's go.
This one by Gurava S called Numbers. Yeah, where should I start? Like the mixing is off entirely. You can even, if you just look at the graph, you can see it immediately. Like there is way too little low end, way too much upper mid frequencies, which is really weird, and then no top end again. So it's weird in a lot of places, a lot of huge gaps, a lot of resonating frequencies. So I don't even know how to start fixing this besides like changing all of the elements that are in there. I don't want to be too harsh. Maybe it's his first song, so I always assume that if someone is just starting out that it doesn't sound that good. But the next thing I would focus on is just concentrating on what kind of elements I select to put into my song, and make sure you cover the entire frequency range with like little blocks. Like you have the kick, the bass covering the low end, then you have like lower pianos, lower pads, or an upper bass covering the low mids, the very low mids, or the upper bass kind of part. Then the mid frequencies for like the main element, either vocals or a synthesizer, or maybe, I don't know, a trumpet or something like that. And then the upper part is again for like soft strings, pads in the background, ambient stuff, effects, and also hi-hats and all this kind of stuff. So just kind of layer it and fill out the gaps, and don't make things overlap too much. Simple house song by Julian. I like it. Like the vibe is chilled, relaxed. The mixing, it's getting there. Like this is already like a solid foundation to keep on working on. It's yeah, like a standard house song, simple again. Maybe already like too simple. I've heard like millions of songs that do basically the same. But when you're starting out, like first try to achieve the simple stuff before you get into the complicated. And yeah, maybe just add a little bit of top end. There are no elements in the top end throughout the entire song, which makes it sound a little dull. I have to say, so far my favorite by Ayer called Knock Knock, a more experimental dubstep kind of influenced song. All of the frequencies are there. There is a low end, there is like a top mid section, like everything is there and balanced. The main synthesizer sound, that very rough one, is not my thing, and I'm not too experienced enough in this kind of style to really judge it. I personally would replace it with something softer, cleaner and pluggier. But I think it works. I think it works. Like everything is there and it sounds like a finished song from start to finish. There is an arrangement, there are elements in there, change in there. So yeah, congrats for finishing a song.
Acid music. Acid music. Acid music. Acid music. Acid music. Acid music. Acid music.
I haven't heard this kind of style in a long while by Bucky, Acid Music. It's, yeah, an acid house track sounding very, very old school, which I actually like. I mean, he tried to copy a certain style and era of techno music, fully achieved that. It sounds very old, analog. It's not perfectly mixed, but that's kind of the charm of this kind of music. I don't know if he produced it fully analog or not, but it sounds pretty analog, and that's like the most important part. There's also nothing I would change about it, nothing I would add to it. I mean, mission accomplished, making an acid house song. I just don't know if there's really like, I mean, there is a market, but it's a very niche market, maybe Berlin underground kind of stuff, but I like it every once in a while. I would try and actually get this released on one of those old school influence Berlin underground weird acid labels, because it's working. So yeah, I think that's already it for today. If you want to submit your song, first link in the description. If you want some samples for free, PDFs that will help you with the frequency distribution and all that kind of stuff, the second link in the description is all for free. And let me know which one of all of the songs you liked the most, which one you disliked the most, what you would change about these kind of songs, and we will see us tomorrow back again here in the studio for another episode.
Is it too late to